Okay, hello. We are back again for to continue where we left off in the sickness demo. All right, we finished chapter 2 last time. So, how about we continue this for chapter 3? Now, I haven't looked ahead to know how far or how many chapter is, but unlike I did the previous time, so this might be the last one for the demo, or there might be more. But we'll continue this here and see where this ends us. We end up here. To tell you the truth, I'm actually enjoying this visual novel for the most part. I think it has some interesting things. It kind of makes me want to know how the outcome is going to be. I mean, this guy has killed someone. He, of course, is going to be getting into a fight. Well, he's doing fighting as a thing. It's like, and I want to know how his relationship with his sister is going to continue growing here. Is that relationship going to shatter, or is she going to be used for, something, used against him? That's what I find interesting, and that's what I'm looking forward to, but, who knows, the whole entire thing might be a letdown when the final game releases. Let's continue. Wednesday morning, September 7th. After a night of much-needed rest and bitter tears, I woke up with my sister's face still buried in my chest. The way they still have this, that they sleep in the same bed, it just seems very taboo. It just seems like the relationship of brother and sister is a little bit more than just regular brother and sister here. They seem a little closer than that, and almost just a little on the edge of incest there. That's what it just seems like to me. Because, they're not little kids. They are pretty much grown, just about, I guess you could say just about adult, depending on how you want to consider when you become an adult. Depending on culture, they might actually both be considered an adult. And of course, they're past that phase of, they've hit past the puberty age, and, they've still got all those hormones rolling. You never know what might happen. I had taken considerably longer than usual for her to fall asleep, completely throwing off our routine. Further drama added to our already complicated lives. Usually I'm the one who stays awake worrying about our future, but last night my body was far too sore to permit such unnecessary extra fatigue. And whatever is going through Sarah's mind, it was enough to force us to switch roles, if only for the night. No matter what excuses she makes, the proof that something is wrong has now soaked the front of my shirt. Soaked the front of your shirt? What the hell, was she crying or something? Dragging my aching body from the bed, I softly removed my sister's arms from my chest and headed to the bathroom. Or wait, maybe he meant soaking as in she's in his, that is what he mean. That she is on him and in his chest, type of thing. Not that she was crying or anything. I just hope nothing happens to her. I think she's a good girl, and I don't really, personally, I don't want to see anything actually happen to her. And that's what I'm worried. I gave my body another brief inspection, eyeing the bruises adorning my torso as I attempted to assess the damage. Wow, that ointment really did the trick. I may be a fast healer, but even I can't make bruises disappear overnight. Some of the bigger ones are still present and looking far worse than yesterday, but I'm sure they'll be gone in a day or two. Now, if only bruise ointment could fix a broken tailbone. Clearing such concerns from my mind, I headed back to my room and changed into fresh clothes, the kind that aren't soaked in tears. So wait, right here he did say tears, so she was crying? Why was she crying? So maybe my first assessment of her crying on him was true? But why? What on earth was she crying about? Usually, I'd wait for Sarah to leave the room, but since she's still sound asleep, I suppose there's little point. Whatever got into her last night, Sarah's body is already compensating for it. I hope you feel better today, Sarah. You're really worrying me. I want to know what's up with her too, man. She's a nice little sister, and I just hope nothing is wrong. I just hope that, the dude who's pretty much blackmailing you, will not use her against you or do something to her to make you do something as a threatening, or use her as blackmail material. You know, that's what I hope. I mean, you got to keep an eye out, man. You know. And I wrapped my brain as I tried to think of all the possible reasons for Saren's sudden unease, but the only causes I could think of didn't explain her desire to move. Well, that's what I'm wondering. I mean, her desire to move. I mean, she wanted to move from this place, but why is there something? If she's all of a sudden acting unusual, you should really get to the point of it and see what it is. I mean, she might be afraid to tell you, man. I mean, she may seem like a girl and, I don't know, all the other stuff, but maybe there's something that's happened within the last couple days since, you don't know. That's someone, maybe someone threatened her, and she's scared, or something, and she's afraid to tell you. And you never know, people can get afraid of telling someone. If Sarah were simply distraught over her parents' deaths, moving from one rented house to another wouldn't solve anything. Similarly, if Sarah was having problems at school, she wanted to change schools, not houses. The only thing that would be changed while moving houses would be the commute itself, which... No, wait a second. I might be onto something there. Sarah catches both a bus and a train to school. That gives her ample time to be affected by the evils of this town. Yeah, that's what maybe she was assaulted. I hope she wasn't raped or anything. I think she would tell you that. I would hope she would tell you such things. I doubt it would have gotten that far. Maybe she was, assaulted in some way or robbed. I'm afraid to tell you. Are other students harassing her? Are strangers approaching her? Is Sarah simply feeling uneasy in this unfamiliar town? Yeah, man. Questions. You gotta get her to open up if there is something wrong. There's only a couple ways you could find out. Is if you stalk her, is one, and the other is to get her to actually tell you if there is something wrong. I mean, when you think about it, it might not be the best idea to pressure her into it, because then you might push her away. But then, how are you ever going to know? I mean, you truly do care about her. That is quite obvious, in my opinion. I mean, it's quite obvious he cares about her. And she definitely cares about him. And whatever the truth may be, there's unfortunately nothing I can do to help. Not yet, at least. As long as Sarah won't confide in me, I'm already limited in the number of ways I can help. And if moving houses is the only way to put her mind at ease, I'll still have to wait until I have more money. All I can do right now is give her time. I'll let Sarah sleep in, spend the day at home, and regain her usual sense of self. And while she's doing that, I'll be tending to problems of my own. With Sarah staying at home, I knew I couldn't afford to wait for Marcus to show up at my house. This prompted me to make an early escape. I hid to my former workplace, the warehouse in which Mr. Mundo had me moving furniture, assuming that would be the second place Marcus would think to check. And surely enough, could I even walk through the gate, the man in question stood in my way. Well, someone's eager this morning. What are you doing here so early? I was almost relieved to hear Marcus's voice greet me, offering a familiar alternative to the rest of my depressing morning. Without work and school, I have nothing to do with my time, and with Sarah as lethargic as I've never seen her, it'll be difficult to lift my spirit. Is it a crime to show up to work early? In my eyes, it is. Even if you were still working here, your shift wouldn't start for another hour and a half. Half an hour. It's only 9:30 a.m. Whatever. It's not like I'm planning on making a habit of showing up this early. Still, to think that I can't even go to work at the right time without Sarah to send me off. How pathetic. And what about you? You don't start for another half an hour yourself. Well, don't think it's that odd to end up at work a half hour early. I mean, I've had plenty of people at my workplace, end up a half hour early. Usually I end up about 15 minutes early. With the distance I have to travel, and especially at this time of year with it cold and snowy, you never know how the traffic's going to be. You kind of have to give yourself some extra time, even if you don't use it all. I was waiting for you, of course. My day cannot possibly start until I see your refreshing face. Sorry I asked. Anyway, we aren't going to start just yet, are we? No, to be honest, I'm actually a little eager to vent my frustration in the gym. Nah, when it comes to bodybuilding, martial arts, and the like, rest is just as important as training. Even so, that doesn't mean you're free to do as you please. Before we get started in today's training, there are a few people I think you should meet. Meet some more people. Leaving work as soon as I arrived, Marcus dragged me to a Chinese restaurant on the other side of town. Lee's Diner, a quiet place many districts away from my current home. Usually I put up a little more resistance, but without anything in my stomach, I'm not about to turn down a proper meal. We arrived via public transport, taking our sweet time to get there. Apparently Marcus made his way to work on foot, leaving us without a car for the time being. But with the free breakfast on my mind, I wasn't going to complain about a little walking. Upon entry, it quickly became obvious that we were the only patrons present. The only other humans present were 3 staff members, likely the Lee family. I took a seat and waited while my partner walked around the restaurant. Good morning. How can I help you today? Yo. That time already, huh? Well, let's get a move on. Suo, close the blinds and lock the door. Huh? Why would I? Some dealing's going down, man, that's what it is. I mean, this guy is a criminal, and there's some criminal actions going here, probably. Just do it. Marcus proceeded into the next room, taking Mr. and Miss Lee with him. By the time I did as Marcus asked, the 3 of them were already out of earshot. Whatever they want to talk about, it's apparently private, even from me. Oh hell. Like, I'm not gonna listen in. Oh, shit. Is this Miss Lee? I don't know if this is Miss Lee. Because I thought there was... The second I rose to my feet. Alright, it wasn't Miss Lee, so I thought it looked a little different, looked a little younger. The second I rose to my feet, a young girl blocked my path. No doubt the daughter of the couple escorting Marcus. She stood directly in front of me with her arms out wide. I think she's telling you, no. You sit back down, man. I think she has an idea of what's going on. Either she's just desperate for a hug, or this girl doesn't want me to sate my curiosity. No, she doesn't. Fine, I get it. No eavesdropping. I sat back down, suddenly listening, inclined to listen in. I sat back down, alright? I'm not going to eavesdrop. What is this girl doing here anyway? She's probably part of the family. Either that or she works there. It's the middle of the day. She should be at school, like all the good girls and boys. Not all families are like that when you think about our cultures. I mean, I don't know what they do in China, but it might be different. I mean, if you don't have to legally send your kid to school, then maybe she just works here. I don't know the legality of such things. Only useless bastards like me skip school so that they can work. Hey, shouldn't you be heading to school? School? Oh, I don't think she can speak English that well. School? Forget it. It's none of my business anyways. Before I try to mull the question over any further, clearly she must not, she might not even be from here. Marcus and Lee couple returned from the next room. Sorry to keep you waiting. I know how busy a man you are. Unfortunately, it would appear that Mr. and Miss Lee don't understand just how swamped we are. Marcus's voice was laced with sarcasm, but beyond that, I could hear agitation in his voice. In fact, they've been so uncooperative that there's been a change of plans. Change of plans? I don't even know what the original plan was. Marcus moved toward the young girl I had been conversing with moments ago. She stared at him blankly, as she had been staring at me, and returned her gaze with an angry glare. Marcus? What are you doing? Is he gonna hit that girl? Rather than answer me, Marcus grabbed the girl by her arm, then calmly moved her over to the counter. What the hell is going on here, Marcus? This is just a little girl, man. Ha! I really had wanted to do this peacefully. Done. The second Marcus reached the counter, he shifted his grip on the young girl, throwing his arms around her collar. I will say one thing about the graphics for that gun. That's one weird looking gun. From under the counter, he grabbed a pistol, aiming it at the girl's temple without hesitation. So under the counter, he knew where this pistol was? Hey man, why... I was trying to do this by the book. I was trying to be nice. But since you're freaking chicks don't understand to negotiate, I guess I have no choice. Damn man, don't kill her. I remained seated, shocked by the sudden call to action. You don't even know what the hell the deal is, man. Mr. and Miss Lee were in a similar situation. Immobilized by fear, afraid to take a single step. At least their daughter paid the price in response. We all simply stared at Marcus, eyes wide open, without a clue what he would do next. We don't even know what the hell he's all angry about. We don't even know what the plan is. We don't even know what the negotiation is. Is this like a shakedown for money or something? Now that I've got everyone's attention. Me! Miss Lee suddenly shouted out, interrupting Marcus mid-sentence. Please, why are you doing this to us? Just take what you want and leave. Marcus ignored their pleas, violently pushing his gun into May's, I think it's pronounced May. May's temple the instant Miss Lee took a step forward. As I was saying, Suho, get over here and empty the cash register. Huh? We're robbing them? We're settling a debt. Now get moving. Despite my hesitation, I did as Marcus said. I pushed past the worried parents, crumped on the floor, then made my way over to Marcus' side. I opened the cash register and placed its constant in a takeaway bag. Counting the money as I did so. Marcus, there's less than $100 in here. Hardly worth committing armed assault over. I figured as much. The real money's in the back, am I right? Mr. Lee looked away as Marcus asked. Real money? This restaurant is just a front for Miss Lee's real business. In reality, Miss Lee here is what you would call a money launderer. Unfortunately for him, he also has a nasty habit of gambling, and as it turns out, he fucking sucks at it. So, Mr. Lee dabbles in illegal activities, and he owes debt to someone for gambling. It's probably not a real gambling location that's known by the government sanctioned. It's not like no casino. Underground gambling. So he owes his money to some dangerous people. Now, let's try this again. Did he just shoot her? No, me! Bring me the real money. Did he just hit her or shoot her? Well, it doesn't look like a gunshot wound. Marcus pistol whipped May, sending her straight to the floor, so he smacked her in the head with the pistol. He then pointed his gun straight at the back of her head, telling her parents exactly what they needed to do. Damn, man. Despite her panic, Miss Lay broke free from her husband's grasp, showing no hesitation as she did what Marcus asked. She returned post-haste with a briefcase in her hands, practically throwing it toward us before retreating to her husband's side once more. Sewell, what are you waiting for? Check the suitcase. Still pointing the gun at his hostage, Marcus sent me to check on his reward. Once again, following his orders without question, I took the briefcase in both hands, then released the metal latches on top. Cocaine? Are those drugs? Is this cocaine? Ooh, triple dipping, are we? So they deal in drugs too? Gambling and money laundering, not cutting it? So he does gambling, money laundering, and drug dealing? Yeah, it seems like the Lees here aren't the, well, at least the father, the mother as well. I really wouldn't put the daughter as much in a position of wrongdoing. I mean, her understanding, she didn't even understand what the hell he was talking about when he said school. So I don't think she's more innocent than the rest, in my opinion. Sewell, give it a taste. What the hell? Does Sewell know what the hell it's supposed to taste like? I don't even know what the hell cocaine's supposed to taste like. You're just gonna taste it and be like, know what the hell if it's actually that? Huh? What are you? I'm not telling you to snort it. Just give it a little taste. Cut one of the bags open, lick your finger, dip it in, then run your finger on your gums. You gotta be kidding me. Asking me to empty a cash register is one thing, but sampling drugs? I can't. I don't even know what that stuff's supposed to taste like. And that's what I was thinking. I mean, if you don't know what it's supposed to taste like, then how the hell are you supposed to tell if it's real? Hell, I don't even have a knife with me. Oh, for fuck's sake. Marcus unveiled a knife from behind his back, tossing it to my side and offering no further leeway. So I'm the last of my reservations, and I took the sturdy blade and sliced open one of the bags. I followed Marcus's instructions and dipped my fingers in the bag, taking as small amount as possible and hesitantly rubbing it on my gums. And what I found was a familiar taste. It's fucking sugar. What the fuck? Did he just shoot all three of them? What the hell? What the fuck? Man, he is not afraid to kill. He is not afraid to kill. You know, I don't really feel terribly bad for the parents. It's the daughter I feel bad for. I think she's the most innocent in this situation. I don't know if she deserved to die. Now, the parents, maybe. They didn't seem like they might have been the best of people. I mean, didn't seem like they might have been doing violent crimes. But, yeah. Not really what I was expecting just to happen out of the blue there. Without saying another word, Marcus put a bullet through the back of May's skull. He then followed up with a shot to Miss Lee's chest and ended with a bullet through Mr. Lee's forehead. In a matter of seconds, he wiped out the Lee family, quickly murdering them all without a moment's hesitation. And as the corpse lay before him, Marcus calmly grabbed the paper bag full of cash, then waltzed in the next room as casually as ever. What are you waiting for? We aren't done yet. Keep an eye out for anything valuable. Got it? Damn, man. You were kind of involved in this when you think about it. You're not gonna get out of if you was ever found out, man. Your plate of murder. I mean, you didn't commit this murder, but you were part of it, nonetheless. Yeah. This guy has even more on you now, man. After scrounging up whatever cash we could find within Lee's diner and ordering 3 corpse removals, Marcus took a seat on the opposite side of the room, gesturing for me to do the same. I have to move as far away from the late Lee family as possible. I grabbed a chair facing the opposite direction, choosing to glare at Marcus rather than glance over at the dead bodies behind me. Wait, don't look at me like that. It's part of my job, alright? It's part of your job to kill people for no damn reason? Oh, please. Like, you're one to talk. Besides, now that my cover job with Mundo is gone, thanks to a certain someone, I'll be doing a lot more of this from now on. Cover job? What are you talking about? You didn't think I was working with you because I like moving furniture, did you? I was working for Mundo to help explain my suspiciously high income. My real job is far more dubious. No, I already gathered that much. What I mean is, what is your real job? What kind of job means killing people like that? It seems like one of those people who go after debts. There must be a word for them, I can't think what it is. Well, do you remember Karasu, the man I told you about in the underground stadium? I work for one of his underlings collecting gambling debts, many of which are accumulated in that very stadium. Marcus is already working for that man, huh? No wonder he knew so much about that stadium and had keys to the side entrance. That still doesn't explain why you had to kill those 3. Why are you getting so hung up on a couple of corpses? Mr. Lee not only failed to pay his debt, he also started dealing drugs on the side. Obviously without Karasu's permission. So Karasu... Does he is Karasu like this powerful figure in this area, and if you do things without his permission, like drug dealing, he might, have your head? Basically, it's like his turf. Can't deal on his turf. That kind of deception cannot be tolerated. He needed to be made an example of. As much as I hate to admit it, I understand what Marcus is saying. Mr. Lee became indebted to the wrong person, then tried to avoid paying what he owed. Any self-respecting crime lord would have him disposed of. But there's one thing I don't understand. Then what about the girl and the wife? Why should they die because of what he did? You aren't even trying to think of yourself now, are you? There are 2 reasons why I did what I did, and even if you don't agree with them, I'm sure you'll understand. First, there are many people who care more about the lives of their families than about themselves. By killing the family of someone who does wrong, others are warned that their actions will impact on their loved ones, giving even the suicidal reason to think twice. As for the second reason, tell me, Suo, when a woman and a young girl living in a town like this have their sole source of revenue taken away and insurmountable debt pushed onto them, what do you think will happen? Prostitution? That's the only thing I can think of. And that's why I worry about the sister. Like something might be going on. And this guy is not a good guy. Something might happen. That's what I'm worried about. I do not want that to happen to her. She doesn't deserve that, in my opinion. Debts and those sorts of money? A little close to home, huh? But they aren't you. There are only so many ways ordinary people can make a living in this town. In all likelihood, they'd wind up working in a massage parlor or out on the street corner, and even then, they'd never repay their debt. If I didn't kill them, that's the sort of life that would have awaited them. So you think you've done them something good? And why would they owe debt? I think that's a stupid idea. That because their father owed debt, that it would just go to them after you killed him, or whatever type of thing, or whatever the situation might be. Because you would have gotten the money either way. I think you would have taken the money and a life of never-ending debt, huh? My situation might not be ideal, But if there's one thing I'm thankful for, it's that our parents left Sarah and I money and real estate, not debt. And if we can't touch any of it right now, one day for sure we'll inherit what is rightfully ours. That's one. I thought you guys had money in place, but for some reason you couldn't have access to it. That's also something I would worry about, man, because you have committed murder and this guy knows about it. And you are dealing with something, and when you do get possession of your real estate and money and your sister, there might be. You might have things you have to pay, for them to keep hush hush. So, all cleared up? I guess. But why did you drag me here? I thought you wanted me to learn how to fight. Oh, keen to get into the ring, huh? The thing is, trustworthy collectors are far more valuable than meatheads who know how to beat each other's brains in. Given your incidents with Mundo, and the fact that you didn't seem interested in fighting for a living, I thought this might be more up your alley. I don't think killing people is up his alley. It was kind of a one-time thing that kind of got out of hand. But you never know, maybe he is, like a freaking killer. I mean, he seems like a good guy, but yeah, if he can't control himself and feels like killing people, I think he has some mental issues. He might seem like a good person, but he has mental issues then, if he feels the need to kill someone. Well, he's not wrong. Does this mean you're going to be killing more people? Like you care. But no, chances are that I won't. This visit was an outlier. Most don't turn violent, and certainly not fatal. There's no money to make killing people before they can repay their debts. Pretty much true. Ah, just a sec. Marcus left the table and headed for the door, laying in a familiar face. Honestly, again already? This is the second time you've called me out this week. You've got to learn to deal with this shit yourself. Now, you should be flattered that I find you reliable enough to count on. What does he do with the frickin' bodies? I'm ecstatic. Now, where is... Buying their corpses from across the room, Andreas sets his sights on the Lee family. Are you fucking kidding me? Removing a single, relatively unscathed corpse is one thing, but those two are bleeding everywhere. And there's a third one behind the counter. God damn it, Marcus. You made his job hard. Because now he's got blood to clean up. Leaving Andrea to clean up his mess, Marcus and I spent the next few hours moving from district to district, performing collections at various locations. True to his promise, Marcus didn't kill anyone else, and although he did rough a few people up, I couldn't complain. Though I attempted to convince myself otherwise. The fact is that I have no problem with violence, or even with killing, when it comes down to it. Despite my complaints, when things did turn violent during our last stop, I ultimately stepped in to help Marcus, allowing myself to do what I previously chastised him for doing. Even if I didn't kill anyone, the fact of the matter is, I'm really not a very moral person. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, he seems like he might be a good guy, but he's not as good as he might turn off to be. At least to his sister, he seems like a really good person, but he seems like a violent person. Someone who... There's more to him than his sister even knows, that seems. And you never know, there might be more to his sister than he even knows. After parting ways with Marcus, I head straight home, making sure to return before my sister. With all the despicable acts today birthed, the last thing I needed is for Sarah to notice the blood on my clothes. Why would you freaking go out with visible blood on your clothes, man? I don't think you want to be seen with that. You might get questioned. Why you're all bloody? Further to that, if I don't get some rest and compose myself, she's going to sense that something is wrong. The best thing for me to do right now is just take it easy. She left, I bet you she was wondering what the hell happened to you this morning, man. I think when you get back, she's going to have questions. I walked through the front door and straight into the living room, halting dead in my tracks as I noticed a presence that I shouldn't be. A present that shouldn't be. What is it? Suo? Oh, you have blood on your clothes too. Shit, man. How are you gonna explain that? You're finished with work already? Shit, I completely forgot that I left Sarah at home today. After seeing the state Sarah was in last night, I didn't dare wake her this morning. Oh shit, you got blood on you, man. Shit, how are you going to explain that? Damn, man, you can kind of tell, I've noticed this, you can tell that the design between the two is, you can kind of tell that they're like brother and sister. Their hair color is the same, their eye color is the same. It's like they're like really close to the other design-wise. Well, not exactly. Wait a minute, is that... Oh my god, you're bleeding! Sarah jumped to her feet and immediately ran into the bathroom, diving for the medicine cabinet. She returned almost instantly, carrying with her bandages and antiseptic, which she hurriedly opened. Let me know if it's too tight, okay? Why do I need a bandage? This isn't even my blood. But how would you tell her it's not your blood, man? That's the big question. Just either let her think you are bleeding, or you're gonna have to explain why it's not your blood. Is Sarah so worried that she hasn't noticed? What a joke, that's what I'm wondering. I mean, did she notice that it wasn't? Though I suppose I shouldn't laugh. Her concern is actually rather comforting. I spent today observing people at their worst, turned against one another over material possessions, laying blame, pleading for one more chance. It's nice to be reminded that not everyone is like that. Is this too tight? Tell me if it hurts, alright? Relax, I'm fine. It's just a little blood. You don't have to. No, I have to do it. Let me fix this. I'll be done in a minute. Guess Sarah isn't willing to listen to reason. She's going to tend to my injuries, and I have no say in the matter. Maybe this is for the best. I don't like to see Sarah worried, especially when it's my fault. But it beats the depressing state she was in this morning. I'll take worried Sarah over depressed Sarah any day. Chapter 4. Alright. So I guess there's another chapter in this demo. Wow! We're actually going to end that off, so it's 13 days. This jumps, it said it was 13 days later. That is actually a pretty good sized jump in time. That's a couple weeks. My. I am kind of interested to see what happens next, and I really don't want to see anything happen to Sarah. Whatever... That's one thing I'm really worried about the storyline for this. I mean... I like her as a character. She's a nice character. And I just keep getting the sensation that something's going to happen to her. Something not good. Either... I just hope it's not by his hands. That's what I hope it's not. But it could be something else. It might not even be by his hands. It might be by the other dude's hand, Marcus, or one of the other multiple guys we've been introduced to. And, or even something else happens that not even a main character, like something just happens. I just hope none of that happens. That's just something I don't want to see happen. But I have a feeling it is going to. Well guys, I want to thank you for watching this. In the description box I will have a link to this demo if you want to check it out yourself. This game will be releasing later this month. I believe it's releasing January 20th, I think. So, about another week or two. And I don't know exactly how far away that is from the date that this is recorded on, which is, it's the 12th today. So, it still is a little ways. I don't know if I'll be getting it day one, but I will be getting it at some point. So, I will be making a whole nother set. Also in the description box, you can check out, I'll have a link to where you can check out the rest of my stuff if you want to check that out. Again guys, I want to thank you all for watching this, and you all have a great day.